What's up, everybody? Neil McDevitt here, and in this video I want to talk about why I think it is very likely the 9-to-5 job will be extinct by 2034. And this is something that many other people also believe in, like the founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, Sam Altman, Cathie Woods, and her entire investment team at ARK Invest. There's many people who also align with this vision and what the future will possibly hold due to the technologies that are being imposed. So if you're not familiar with Reid Hoffman, he is the founder of LinkedIn, and he is known for being able to predict and see how technology and inventions and innovation generally affects us as humans and how we perceive reality in the future. And he has done this in the past with companies like LinkedIn by noticing the opportunity with social networking and that landscape and predicting how it will change the behavior of humans. And he also saw the AI revolution happening many years before OpenAI ever released ChatGPT. He was actually one of the founding investors in OpenAI, and he joined the board of advisors for OpenAI in 2022. He also co-founded Inflection AI with Mustafa Suleyman, who is the co-founder of Google DeepMind. And on March 13th, 2023, Hoffman released his own book called Impromptu: Amplifying Humanity Through Artificial Intelligence. So all of this to say, I think this is somebody that we can take his words with more than just a grain of salt. So the first prediction that Reid has mentioned is the gig economy revolution, which, if you're not familiar with this, basically the gig economy is the point in time where freelance work or artistry work surpasses the 9-to-5 employment rates. And in fact, Reid predicts that by the end of this decade, by 2030, 50% of the US population will be freelancers. And by 2034, 100% of 9-to-5s will be extinct due to automation and adoption of the gig economy. So Reid Hoffman isn't the only one talking about this. ARK Invest, Cathie Woods, and her entire team have also made projections as to what they think the labor market will look like by 2035. And the interesting thing about this is they made these projections back in 2016. So in 2016, they saw the same trend, which they projected that by 2035, 50% of 9-to-5s will be extinct. But given their recent reports and the recent research that they've done and the recent emergent capabilities of technology that we've had, I'm very confident to assume that their timeline is a bit more aggressive than that nowadays. But if we look at the bottom right corner here, we have another graph from one of their research papers and one of their reports that was released more recently in 2024. And if we look at it very closely, you can see that on the far right-hand side there on that graph, in the next decade, we're going to see the same amount of innovation that we have seen over the past 200 years. So imagine 200 years of innovation compressed into the next decade. Think about that for a second. So a good lens to look at this from, to understand the magnitude of what that means, is let's look at this at the very extremes of both ends. Let's look at 200 years ago versus today. What was the behavior of humans collectively like 200 years ago? What was the economic paradigm like 200 years ago? What were the laws that people were abiding by like 200 years ago? Heck, 200 years ago, we were still riding horses. 200 years ago, we hadn't even abolished slavery in the United States yet. Now, we're about to compress that much technological innovation within the next 10 years. Imagine all of the paradigm shifting laws that will have to be made. Imagine all of the different types of economic paradigms that are going to happen. Imagine all of the different behaviors that humans adopt as a whole collectively will form. Imagine how all of these things are going to merge extremely quickly within a compressed period of time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, yes, we're going to adapt within that decade, but what's going to happen is we're going to be hit with the technology that causes adaptation very violently and to an extremely large magnitude, and we're not going to know what to do. And then eventually over time we will adapt. It won't be immediate, but the change will happen. Then we'll have to figure out how to change to fit with the change, if that makes sense. Because the paradigms will shift and we will not be ready for it. Hopefully all of that made sense. So, what does Reid Hoffman and what do I think and what do other people think will become the most valuable asset in the future? And obviously, the title says your digital footprint will become your most valuable asset in the future. And companies will hire freelancers based on proven work, not degrees or job titles. And these are changes that we are already beginning to see in our current labor economy. If you're a college student who graduated from college recently and you don't have anybody like parents or any references at a job or any friends that already have a job somewhere, it's hard to find a job right now in an entry role even without actual tangible experience in the real world doing actual things. A degree doesn't get you there anymore. You actually need to have tangible results that you can show. And even furthermore, not only are you going to need to have your entire social media page be like a resume for you showing the work that you've done, but also you're going to need a personal brand that stands out and cuts through a sea of digital noise, because showing competence is great. It's fantastic, but in a world with great AI, everybody becomes relatively competent. So the more important things become having a personality and values that aligns with the company that you want to work for, or having a personality and values that aligns with the company that, or the people that you want to pull into your company if you're starting your own company. So these are the things that are becoming most important, is aligning or building a personal brand that is polarizing and can cut through the noise, and also building your digital footprint that shows who you are, what are your values, and what is your mission. That is the most important thing that you can do moving forward while showing evidence that you are actually capable of doing so. So this is going to be one of the most valuable assets that you could possibly have, especially moving through the entire digital revolution or digital or AI revolution that we're going through. So another prediction is that by 2034, 33% of professionals will have multiple micro businesses offering different services that have a human touch to them, or different products, or different human-made creations that all have this bespoke human imperfectness to them. There are certain types of creations that would prefer to be made by artificial intelligence because we want it to be like digitally perfect. But there'll also be creations, in my opinion, that we want to have some sort of human flaws to them because we'll value that a bit more. I don't know if that's going to be true. Maybe I'm completely wrong here, but this is something that I'm willing to bet on. So just a few examples here. And these are some examples that Reid Hoffman gave. There's a forager earning $200K per year selling wild mushrooms. That is an example of something that is very possible and smart. There is a Minecraft architect making $300K designing natural worlds or virtual worlds. And there's also just doing whatever it is that you like to do and documenting it on the internet and building any type of community, any type of product around the niche that you're building an audience from. This is the path of the future, is building a digital footprint with a personal brand. What I think is going to happen is the world will be extremely abundant for those who decide to fuel their inner creativity and let it loose and create from a place of being human and emotional, because we're going to be the only things that can create those things that people can buy. Everything that isn't emotionally created is going to be easily automated by AI, and therefore why would we put any like extra value on top of those things? Because it's going to be so abundant. Those things that AI creates will be basically limitless, because we'll have billions of AIs that are extremely intelligent and are very efficient at creating high quality, effective solutions to certain problems. But the things that will become the most valuable is the imperfect creations that a human makes, the flaws that we create within the creation that we create ourselves. There's a good quote from Picasso that I think is very relevant now in moving into the future, is the quote that every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. So what will the future of work look like? So Reid predicts that the future of work won't just be remote. It'll be hyper-local and global simultaneously. So with Meta making massive strides with smart glasses that pair with artificial intelligence, robust and versatile AI agents will always be ready to serve any need, desire, project, or problem that you have just by speaking to it with your glasses. We already have AI glasses by Meta that are selling out like crazy, but as we have AI agents that merge with these glasses, this will only become a much better phenomenon that gives us better and better capabilities to interact with the environment around us. We'll always have our work literally on our face if we want it to be there, and we can just prompt AI to do whatever it is throughout the day whenever we want to. So all of the mundane tasks of running a business or a side hustle will be something that you can delegate or automate for extremely cheap on the day of inception of your business. You can literally think about something and start deploying AI to do it immediately, making having a lot of leverage very easy and very effective to create any type of business, side hustle, or whatever it is that you want to create. And the cool thing about this is you could have either a completely autonomous business, or you will have ultimate freedom to focus on creating and sharing your human creations with other humans, depending on how you want to focus your attention. And the entire approach to work will fundamentally change as a whole. Instead of being forced to work, you'll have the freedom to choose to work and to work on what you actually want to work on, which is a very beautiful thing. So all of this being said, what skills should we actually be focused on learning? So obviously it would be important to learn and understand how to leverage AI at a sufficiently deep level so you can make sure you're capable as a human in the future. But another skill that I am personally working on is public speaking skills, leadership skills, and most powerfully is being able to simply convey a mission or vision that others can get behind and join you on. And I think the most important skill or character trait that anybody could build is to build a curious mind that is capable of thinking critically. And it's one thing to be curious for other people's facts and opinions, but the most important skill is being able to hear other people's facts and opinions, then scrutinize them for yourself, test them for yourself, and ensure that they are truthful to you. And you don't want to just accept everything that everybody says as gospel, even if they have results. You do want to kind of ask yourself, like, is this true for me? Because there will be a lot of people who have results and they're completely biased towards the thing that got them there, but that was their superpower. That doesn't mean it's going to be yours. So you need to ask yourself, is this the thing that suits me best to reach the goals that I have? And if it's not, you can dispose of it even if that person is somebody who has achieved a lot. So you can use these mental frameworks, use critical thinking to understand how to find the best information for yourself possible. And you can categorize this skill of critical thinking into 3 other skills, which is systems thinking, thinking from first principles, and understanding the second and third order consequences of the decisions that you make based off of the things that people tell you to do, or the things that you come to conclusions on. So in order to do this properly, you must have good mental models of the world. You must have a good understanding of history, economics, psychology, biology, philosophy, physics. You must be a polymath. I think this is the most important time in history to be a polymath, to be somebody who understands a little bit about everything so that you can approach the world with a very good lens and a mental model of how it works, and you can come to conclusions that are logical for yourself using your own thinking patterns. So one thing I thought it might be useful for some of you is to hear how I am changing my personal decision-making frameworks and how I'm allocating my personal decision so that you can maybe get some ideas from that or see some type of insights that might help you out somehow. So the first few things that I did is I shut down my old consulting firm. It was like a marketing consultancy, and we were making like $30K per month, and I just threw it all away for many different reasons, but one large one was because of AI. And then from there, I just went into learning everything I possibly could about artificial intelligence, learning pretty much all the intricacies as to like what are scaling laws, what are transistors, what is the transformer architecture, what are these things? You don't need to go that deep. After I did it myself, I kind of realized you don't necessarily have to go that deep. You simply just need to understand what are the current capabilities, where are the capabilities going, and what are the possible outcomes from those capabilities. That's all you really need to know. Now, I'm building a personal brand talking about the things that I liked to talk about, which is artificial intelligence and just like thinking critically, becoming a polymath, becoming extremely educated so that you can make sure that you are on the receiving end of this technology rather than the end that gets steamrolled. And I want to build a community of people who are aware of these things. And we can actually make sure that humanity can transition to this shift that we're going through much smoother. So that is why I'm building this YouTube channel in the first place. And then one thing I did is I spent the time to research all of the possible business models. After I shut down my consulting firm, I spent a lot of time researching all of the possible business models that would be potentially relevant in the future. And I ended up pretty much landing on the exact things that we covered earlier in this presentation, which is like building a digital footprint and then building a community of people. Because those are two things that fundamentally probably are not going to be automated away. So the first thing I did is I started by building an AI startup, but then I quickly realized that that would be a fast way to be steamrolled by OpenAI, because all they really had to do was launch a new update with a new feature that I was offering, and I would pretty much become irrelevant. So I completely pivoted from that business, and now I'm building a community that's doing the things like I just explained. We want to make sure that collective consciousness and humanity can navigate through this industrial revolution that we're going through safely, and then also learn how to leverage this technology to increase their personal abundance. That is my personal mission, and I think people can align with those values pretty well, which is why I'm building my free community. And if you do want to join, the link is in the description below. But the beautiful thing about having a community, and this is why I decided to build one, is because it's literally infinite possibilities. Like, you meet an amazingly interesting people. I've already met some amazing AI engineers in my community who have been in the AI space for like many decades, and they are actual like engineers who work in this space, and I don't even have a lot of community members yet. There's also people in there who have 8-figure companies that are looking to adopt artificial intelligence. So there's all these amazing people that you can meet extremely quickly, and you build a very fast network effect. And then you also have infinite possibilities of having a community of people who know, like, and trust you. So if for some reason I wanted to spin off a certain product from the things that my community says they want, maybe they all say they want a specific product that acts a specific way, and I have the feedback to know what problems that exist that need to be solved, I could come up with a solution to those problems. Or maybe I come up with a different type of service, or whatever it is, I will have the ability to come up with any type of business model based off of having a digital footprint in a community. So there's literally infinite amount of business, or infinite amount of not just business opportunities, but also just leverage points from having a digital footprint in a community. And the one thing that I really want to do with this community is align human collective consciousness on a mission. And not just any mission. I want to align collective consciousness on the mission of, well, what is the only problem left? After everything is automated and we kind of just get to choose whatever artistic work we want to work on, what is the fundamental problem left? Like, what is the only problem left if all external problems are solved? Well, I think it's quite obvious. Make sure that our species lasts in perpetuity, or as long as we can. Make sure that we don't die at a species level. We need collective consciousness to last as long as possible and expand throughout the cosmos so that it becomes almost impossible to make our species go extinct. I think at a fundamental level, that is the only thing that could possibly matter. And I want to try to align over time collective consciousness to be all aligned on the same mission. And we are starting very small. I literally have 250 members in my community right now, but we're making baby steps, and I have a very, very big vision and mission for this, and I think it's going to be massive one day. So if that's something you're interested in, again, link in the description below. You can find it down there somewhere. And I'm extremely excited to put out more videos like this. Let me know if you have any feedback, if you want to chat with anybody in the community or share any of your insights or anything that you've thought of. Again, you can just join the community for free and chat it up with people in there. I want it to be very valuable so everybody can have, I want the velocity of information and context and evidence of things happening being very fast in there, because this is going to be the best way that we can keep up with the rapid advancements of this technology. So that being said, I will see you in the community, and we'll see you in the next video.